This is The Wheel Weaves Watches, a spoiler-free breakdown podcast of the Wheel of Time show on Amazon Prime. I'm your host, Dani, and I'm joined by my co-host, Brett, and we're here to bring you an in-depth look into the Wheel of Time show. We'll share reactions, episode breakdowns, and relevant background information without spoiling future content from the book series. So grab a drink and let's get watching. We'd like to acknowledge and thank our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, Yanis, Albert Lorenzo, LightBlindedFool, Green Man, Deyvis, Ferreira, Margaret, Big C, Bennett, Williamson, Dylan C, Hannah Green, Noralia, Jordan Gower, and Geof Searles. In this episode, we're talking about Episode 6 of Season 2.
Yeah, Episode 6 is Eyes Without Pity.
Ooh, another
Holy
chapter
moly.
title from the book.
I like the theme they're going with, and I'm curious if the last episode is going to be called, like, The Great Hunt or something.
Ooh.
Because the last episode of Season 1 was...
The hunt seems to be over. We know where the horn is.
I mean, it's part of the hunt. Part of the hunt is, like, getting the horn back, and that's kind of, like, part of the plot line.
Right.
But I gotta say, it's kind of funny, but a couple of years ago, when we found out the initial casting for Egwene...
Yeah.
We
watched Dora the Explorer.
We did. We watched Dora the Explorer.
I was thinking this episode, we've come a long way from Dora the Explorer.
Heck of a long way.
I literally thought that in my brain.
That's what I thought, and I put it down. It's like, oh my goodness, because I was like, hey, you know, it's pretty good. Like Dora, I don't know, it's like live action.
It was bad.
Well, I mean,
go ahead.
How good can Dora be? And like, we're not
so cheesy. It was like for kids, it's like terrible.
We're not the target audience. We just like watched it.
Yeah, just to see Madden.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's her name.
Yeah. And now I'm like, wow, she carried this freaking episode.
Oh shit.
Like she's done a fantastic job so far, but like this episode,
kind of gruesome.
It was bad, and it gets worse, and it's gonna get worse before it gets worse for our characters. Like, oh my goodness.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
It was so bad in like a really good way. It's like a hard thing to understand.
Like
I'm like, oh my god, I hated that episode, but it was so good.
I hate everything that's happening.
Yes, but that feels like you're reading The Wheel of Time.
It's Wheel of Time, yeah. It gets worse before it gets worse.
You're like, wow, why are all these terrible things happening?
Yeah, it's actually not. And you know what? I also got to say, like, just for the record, we're not going to spare any of the side characters. Like, maybe, it feels like maybe we'll be spared our main characters, sort of. But, like, everybody
who's
a
side... main characters are, like,
I don't know.
through it. Like,
yeah.
They might be spared their lives.
Their lives, but not their emotions or physical states.
Well, even the fact that Egwene is captured here.
I know.
She's one of our main five, and she's like a literal slave.
Yeah, she's not dead, but it's like, what's worse? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's jump into it because we got a couple of different storylines we got to follow this episode. So I want to do a couple of the smaller ones first because there's some important information. So first off, we got Loyal, Ingtar, and the Seanchan.
Okay. And now before we jump into that, I would be remiss.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe I forgot.
I actually wasn't going to talk about the food, but I was just talking
about the food.
Okay, I did make food.
You make delicious food. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was like...
It's like your favorite thing that's ever described in the books.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I feel like I made it better last time.
Okay.
This
I don't know.
The sauce failed me a little bit.
Okay, so what it was the crispy pork and the peppers, the onions, the peas in the sweet and sour sauce.
Yeah. In the books, it's not called sweet and sour pork.
No.
It's crispy pork with peppers and peas in a thick, clear sauce. So what gets me is that sweet and sour sauce isn't clear.
Right.
And so what flavor am I supposed to make this thick, clear sauce? So I did my darndest to make a sweet and sour sauce that was clear.
But I would also like it a little bit like less book accurate but delicious than have it book accurate and like gross.
Really?
What is this?
I really wanted it to be book accurate.
No, it really hit the mark. It was great.
Okay.
Anyways, what were you going to bring up besides...
the fact that we were completely missing a new duo in this episode. Because we're about to talk about all the characters we did see.
Yeah, okay.
And so I wanted to briefly mention that Perrin and Avienda, not in this episode.
No, yeah, we did miss that.
Where are they?
Yeah, okay.
What are they doing?
Okay. I guess we'll have to come back to that later on.
On the road together.
I love it. I love that too. But no time for that now. So let's talk about Loyal Ingtar and I guess Suroth?
Yeah.
Eyebrowless Suroth.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I said this out loud while we were watching it.
I know. I had to shush you.
The most terrifying movies I ever watched when I was a child was Coneheads.
Right.
Which is a movie based on an old SNL skit with like Dan Aykroyd.
Don't even try to reference it.
Oh my god. And they have big bald cones for heads. They're aliens.
And like no eyebrows.
They don't have eyebrows.
Yeah.
And it creeps me out. It's the creepiest movie. It's supposed to be funny. And people find it funny. I find it so scary.
The reason you're bringing that up is because
Suroth
yeah,
looks like she should be in cone heads.
Right. The no eyebrows, the very shaved head. And it's like, okay.
It's creepy.
But it's like, it's giving me it's throwing me off. And I love it because it's
really
like.
throwing me off because that actress is gorgeous.
Yes.
When she has eyebrows and hair.
And you're just making me feel uncomfortable to look at the entire costume design of the Seanchan. I should feel comfortable because I'm uncomfortable with everything about the Seanchan.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense. Okay, so we get a cool little update to the situation here. It's definitely not the focus of the episode, but it's more like a where are the Seanchan now, or at least these characters.
And like, what do they do? What are they doing even?
Well, these
just
are clearly, they're
yeah.
like the nobility, but that really speaks to the level of control they have in the West Coast.
They are bullies.
I mean, yeah, you can say that.
They're like laughing at Loyal's tree singing.
I know, he's doing
Rude.
tree singing, like literally making trees grow with your voice, man.
Yeah, and they're like mesmerized. And then Searles like, oh wait, oh no, gotta shut this down.
Don't like that.
Yeah.
Don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But cool power.
Right.
Now, the entire point of this little perspective is that we get a neat little tidbit where Loyal says Egwene is stronger than you know, and if anyone can survive the Damani kennels, it's her.
Well, yeah, because Ingtar tells us they're called the kennels.
Yeah.
Because that's how they view
Yeah,
Damani.
exactly. It's like, yeah, and it's like even that, even saying dogs, it's like...
we got the leash thing.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
then we got Rena telling Egwene over and over that she's not a girl, she's not a woman, she's not human.
She's Damani. Yeah. And my whole point is, like, even when it's brought up, like, oh, they're like dogs, it's like, you don't even treat dogs like that, or you shouldn't, and if you do, you shouldn't have dogs, and it's like, there's a whole bunch of problems with how the Seanchan treat Damani, but it really just speaks to the inhumaneness of how they treat the Damani.
Yeah, and it's their version of obedience training.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Like, we're not supposed to like it, and they're doing a fantastic job of making me
us
not like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So, little tidbit, Ingtar's gathering intel, and I guess hopefully we see a little bit more progression there to maybe Egwene getting free. I don't know. Like, we got a couple storylines.
We have a bunch of people who know about Egwene's situation and want her free.
Like, working on it.
Rand. Right? So we have Rand, we have Nynaeve and Elane.
I was going to say.
And we have Ingtar and Loyal.
Yeah, it's like Falma's the place to be. We gotta get there, converge on the spot. Falm.
Yep.
Falm. Right. Okay, anyways, let's move on to Elane, Nynaeve, and Rima. Not to forget her ward or two, but...
Yeah, oh my gosh, what an amazing performance.
Yeah, just like the roller coaster of emotions that I get to feel the entire episode.
The entire thing.
Wow.
So we have Nynaeve and Elane, who are not leaving on a boat with a captain...
A trustworthy ship captain.
A trustworthy ship captain, no name.
Yeah, whoever that might be.
And we get that Rima has an Adam.
Yes, they got it.
But not without sacrifice.
Yes, yeah. Like, we clearly lost a couple of Aes Sedai.
Right.
And I do like the fact that it seems that we are losing Aes Sedai sisters. Like, we saw it with the White Cloaks. We're seeing it with the Seanchan. Like, people do die. People are dying. Maybe not 100% on screen, but, like, there's going to be casualties in this series.
Right. And now, when we learn that there was a blue sitter that was captured, right away I was like, that's Mygan.
Oh, yeah.
Because in season 1, she tells Moraine, there's trouble with some weird ships in the west, and I'm going to investigate. So I need you to stay here. That was that whole scenario in the steam room. And I called it from season 1.
Oh yeah, it's like,
I was
for
like, she's going. It's for sure the Seanchan, and she's gonna be Damani.
Exactly.
Right away.
Yeah, no question.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah, no, I love it, and I love that we get that whole breakdown this episode. And even though we were pretty sure that was gonna happen,
that was a great plant in season 1 too.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And even throughout the episode, they do such an amazing job with Egwene's storyline. Just the progression of watching her fight back and then getting to hear the other woman through the wall. And you're like, who's that? And you're like, oh my goodness.
Right. But back to Nynaeve and Elane.
Yeah.
Who are hellbent on staying for Egwene, rescuing her, figuring out how to open this collar to Rangriel.
Two things that I really like happening. Number one, I love the fact that Elane is super level-headed. Like, she has a good head on her shoulders.
Yeah.
Everybody else kind of freaking out, not making best decisions. But Elane, even with at the very end when Raima's getting captured, Elaine's
She's
like,
we
no,
can't help her if we want to get Egwene.
Yeah, literally, we're just gonna die. So like, no, we're not gonna go out and do that. So like, super level-headed. But also, I love that Nynaeve's block is causing problems, and not being able to control the powers, literally getting people killed and collared.
Mm-hmm.
So that, like, we'll see if there's any ramifications there too. Of like, is that going to play into Nynaeve's? Is it going to help her break through or make it worse?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, we got stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, jumping into another plot line here. We got Elane, Alana, and the Warders.
Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on, though.
Okay.
Before we jump into them, the last thing I do want to say is the channeling that Raima does to, like, contort the Suldam.
There's a lot of body twisting this episode.
I asked you, I was like, wait a minute, what about the oath where she's not allowed to use the power as a weapon? And then you said, except in the last defense of her life.
Yeah, and it's like this is literally the scenario because she goes out.
She wanted her warder to kill her.
Yeah, that was the plan.
Yeah.
He should have done it.
He should have.
Because now she's collared.
Yeah.
Like, you should have went through the plan. Like, oh, I can't, but like, you should have.
Yes.
So now you're dead.
Now you're dead.
And she's collared.
And she's collared.
So shoot.
Not great. But what's interesting is she's a yellow Aja, so she knows the physical anatomy of people.
Yeah.
And like how to heal them. And she used that.
Instead of arms going this way, they go that way.
Yeah.
And that's bad.
Yes, exactly.
I love it.
Very, very specific weaving that probably only the yellow Aja can do with the knowledge of the body.
Or even like the way they would do it.
Yes.
Like who does things certain ways.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see that.
Yeah.
All right. So back to it. We get a switcherooski to Alana, and the Warders.
Ugh.
Because they're all heading to, I guess, Kyrian. And we get that little tidbit here. But first off, I gotta say,
I am confused.
Okay, so we get like this crazy confrontation, and it's a whole setup. I realized it after the fact.
This is the part that I'm like disenchanted with.
Okay, skip that. But I want to talk about the initial confrontation because we get the Lan and
that's what I'm disenchanted with.
Which part?
All of this storyline.
Okay.
I'm still not happy with it.
Okay, I love the fact. So they find the spooky little poem in Lan's satchel or whatever.
And they're like, you're a dark friend.
But they, first off, before they confront him though, they bring him to the ancient ruins of a forsaken, decrepit monument. Right. And they're like, hey, look at this.
I thought we were going to get other Forsaken names, but I
thought we were going to get like a little bit of an info dump. It's like, hey, these are the Forsaken to expect this.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
Because in the books, we get a whole lot of
Forsaken
explanation.
Names. Yeah, tons.
Yeah, what is it? Exposition?
Exposition.
We need more of that. I need hours and hours of explanation.
No.
Anyways, so they bring him to this little Forsaken monument. They're like, hey, what do you think of this? And then when he tries to sneak off, they're like, yo, we found your little spooky poem talking all about Lanfear and the Dark One, and if you're one of them, then we're going to have to murder you, which is fair. Like, that's what you should do if you find a dark friend. You should probably kill them because they're objectively evil people.
Yes.
So
that's fair. That's true.
Yes.
And when Alana wraps him up and is like, yo, tell us everything you know, I'm like, Lan, you are allowed to lie.
True.
That's not something that you're held
What kind
by.
of lies are you going to make up, though?
He could give parts of the truth.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Well, we only heard the first sentence.
That's true.
He did say, we found the dragon. Like, he didn't say, like, oh,
the fact that they show up later.
Yeah, that's not great.
Interrupting Swan's carriage procession.
Yeah.
Feels as though he told everything.
Like, maybe. But also, at that point, maybe it's time to tell someone because you're usually, like, team tell people.
I am team tell
And right
people.
now, Maureen's being all, like, shutty downy. I'm not telling nobody nothing. I can't even write a note to my girlfriend. Like, come on, Maureen.
Yeah.
Hello, Swan. It is I.
Okay.
I have been stilled.
Now,
it is not going well.
My thing, this whole episode, I know. She can't do it. She can't figure it out. But my whole thing, this entire episode is what is happening with this timeline?
Right.
What is going on?
Yeah. How close were we to Kyrian? What's the time delay here?
Yeah, we have Swan traveling from Camelin back to the White Tower.
Sure.
We don't even really know where Lan and Alana are.
Sure. Somewhere between, maybe.
Interrupt this procession.
Yeah.
It feels as though literally one night has passed.
Yep.
And then they're in Kyrian.
Yeah. So anyways.
With Alana and people from the White Tower.
Yeah.
So it feels like a lot more time should have passed.
Yeah.
And I don't feel as though it has? I'm so confused.
They flew on the backs of dragons and they got there.
I was wondering.
So let's talk about
did.
Matt and Min and Kyrian, because that is also something that's pretty funny. So it's almost
I'm hoping that somebody else picked up on something that was like, oh, it literally said at the bottom of the screen 3 weeks later.
Exactly.
And I missed it. Like, I'm really hoping that happened.
Maybe in Maureen's letters it was like, it has been 3 to 7 months and it has been such a long time since I have seen you last and I wish to see you again. Anyway, okay, but we got to move on now.
Okay, fine. Okay.
We can break it down fully later.
Okay. Yeah.
Matt and Min in Kyrian, it's almost as if Ishamael wants to tear everybody's relationships apart.
Right. Well, I'm concerned here because it feels like Min is pledged to the Dark One.
No. Pump the brakes.
Why is she working so closely with Ishamael? I hate it.
We don't know. Like, okay.
He's showing up in her dreams.
Here's the thing.
She's clearly being
Here's the
blackmailed.
thing. I'm gonna give you a rationale behind this, and there's no friggin' way that Min is a dark friend right now.
Okay, tell me. Because that's what I'm concerned about.
It's showing us how easily people can get roped into evil plot lines for their own purposes, even if they're not inherently evil purposes.
Well, okay,
Min wants to get rid of her power that's causing her lots of grief in her life.
But in this episode, we see that Leandrin also had her reason. She wanted to keep her son alive.
You get blackmailed enough, and you got to do things, and you don't realize how far you've gone.
But we don't know if Min has pledged or not. They haven't made that clear.
There's no way. Not buying it.
I know that you personally
don't
feel
believe
that
it.
way, but in the show here, we have zero context proving otherwise.
Don't believe it. Not buying it. Not taking it.
I know that you don't feel that way.
I refuse.
Well,
okay.
I don't.
Anyways, okay. But my point is, it seems like Ishamael is doing his darndest to tear apart relationships. It's almost like he wanted Matt and Rand to have a reunion just to tear it away.
Apart again.
Because it's almost like it's worse to find out that your best buddy is alive and then rip him away again.
Yeah.
Versus just like keep it thinking that they're gone and like separated forever. Like,
I know. I really thought Matt wasn't going to leave him this time because of the guilt of leaving them last time.
But then the Min terror, and now I have to question whether that viewing that Min saw of Matt killing Rand is actually real, or is that like a plant?
Ishamael plant?
Is it a plant, or is it like a fake, or
is it like that? Can Ishamael even do that? Like, we don't even know.
We don't know, but like also kind of like, why not? Why couldn't he do something like that? Why couldn't it be like, oh, he stabbed me, but like in a dream? Because probably like, why not? Again, we don't know the rules of everything. Mm-hmm. And we're just like really believing everybody in their own perspectives because usually that's what you do as a character.
What I really wanted though, so bad, is when Rand sees Matt, I needed a line that was like,
you look so different.
I didn't recognize you there.
It's almost like you're a whole new person.
Something I needed some kind of line, just like as a quip. But I get why they didn't. But I thought it would have been so funny.
Yeah,
that would have just been so funny.
Yeah.
Because he's a different person. He's literally a different dude.
Well, you know what's really funny is they do that literally in the Marvel universe, from like Iron Man 1 to like 2 with Rhodey. It's literally
a different person.
And
do they make a joke about it?
He says, "I'm here. It's me. Deal with it." And then
oh, that's funny.
And we're like, okay.
See, like I feel like it could have been like and it would have made sense in the story because they haven't seen each other in a very long time.
Yeah.
And even Matt is like, you shaved your head? Like, where's your hair? Like, this is.
I was hoping Matt was gonna make fun of Rand's fancy coat, and he does. He's like, you're gonna get arrogant like Dragon Reborn.
Yeah.
Really funny quips. It felt good to have them back for like a moment.
Then to immediately
rip it away
behind, that sucks.
That sucks. So Rand,
except that he doesn't leave him behind because he didn't actually leave.
Right. No, Rand's going.
Land just stopped him.
Well,
Rand isn't going anywhere.
Well, we don't know how that's going to end.
Anyway, we do.
Okay.
Oh yes, we do.
Let's rewind it back for Rand's plotline.
Rand just like stepped around Lan and was like, "Okay, bye," and just went anyway.
He says, "No, thank you," and he puts his hand up and he says, "I am leaving now."
Oh yeah, no. And
then they leave.
He's for sure being brought to like Swan or something.
Maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, all right.
Sure.
So Rand and Lanfear
immediately,
immediately he's like, "Okay, Lanfear, I'll do whatever you want."
Yeah.
So that's bad.
Well. Not really, because that's exactly what Moraine told him to do. She said, play the part.
Right, she did say that.
That was
And then he's like, I have to leave.
And then Moraine is like, no, don't do it. And it's like, Moraine, you literally just told him.
Well, it's like, play the part to Lanfear.
Yeah, but Lanfear can see.
Right.
She knows.
Right.
what he's doing.
I mean, it's really questionable too, because from what it feels like for Lanfear, it feels like her number one and her only plan right now is like, how do I make this guy love me again?
Yeah.
There is no secondary plan right now. It's just like
typical Lanfear.
Yeah, focus on one thing at a time, and we'll accomplish that. And if we can accomplish that.
I love it. I love every
we can
scene
move
of
on to other
Lanfear.
things.
I love it. I love it. Show Lanfear is proving to be just as great as book Lanfear.
Oh, I know.
My favorite character. I just love it so much. I love it. I love it. She's so great.
Even though, like, hey, I'm protecting you in your dreams. It's great.
She's so great with Rand.
Like, her versus a Shamiel. It's like, is that all a setup too? Is that like all a ploy?
I love how she calls him Ishi.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
Yeah.
It's so great because that's his nickname.
Yeah, anyway. I mean, what, am I expected to say Shamiel every single time?
Every single time? I don't do it.
No, you don't even say his name correctly ever, so, like, it doesn't matter.
I don't think that I say it as wrong as
you say it Ishmael, like, it's not Moby Dick here. Like, what are we doing?
I do not say it like that.
You basically do.
I don't even care.
Okay.
I don't care.
All right, last character we got to talk about who carries the episode. No, actually, we didn't talk about Logan.
So exciting. Tell me good or bad.
I like it, but
Good scene,
as soon as he's like, teach me, Logan, and Logan's like, here's how I teach you. Rand's like, no time. I have to leave now. Yeah. It's like, I would take him with me.
I would bet.
I would break him out of the hospital. I would take him with me.
There are deleted scenes.
Possibly.
I bet there is more with Logan in that realm.
Yeah.
And it gets cut for time.
Fair enough.
That's what I'm feeling. I know nothing about how to make TV shows.
Yep.
That's my feeling on that.
And I'll accept that, and I'm totally down to see those deleted scenes. Mm-hmm. I simply would bring Logan with me. I'd say, come along with me, sir.
Let's travel.
Let's leave the hospital. I'll smuggle you out. You can come with me.
I'm letting him have, what's the thing
Day
called?
pass.
No, what, day pass?
Maybe.
A furlough?
Sure.
Where the prisoner can leave for a day?
He's not a prisoner.
He is.
Okay, that's actually true. I was saying he's like a patient.
He's an inpatient in a psychiatric
You're
facility.
Not in prison. You just can't leave.
Yeah. And Ryan could be like, it's for his own good.
Is it, though?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the question.
It's for Rand's own good, maybe.
That's nothing to do with him. Okay, anyways, yeah.
Okay.
Egwene.
Yeah, okay, Egwene.
So, carries the episode. We've come a long way from Dora. You bring me on this roller coaster of emotions. And
when they're like, they don't make you feel special at the tower, you just like see in Egwene's eyes.
Just a little bit.
That's true. Because the constant being compared to how wonderfully powerful Nynaeve is. And she just wants that recognition. She's trying so hard.
Oh, I know.
And for that split second, it's like, no, Egwene,
and you know what?
Do it.
It's also like the cultures clashing, where clearly, so Rena, the Suldam who's in charge of Egwene,
so accurate. It feels so.
It is basically
good.
like scene for scene from the book. Like it is so powerful, spot on. It's amazing. But even just like the attitude of Rena to being like, hey, you're basically not a human, and this is your life now.
But we're gonna be
best friends. And then like the anger when she's like, "Why aren't we best friends yet? It's been 20 minutes.
Look at what I just helped you do. I just helped you.
Yeah, but it's like
you helped me light a tree on fire.
Exactly, and see how good it felt.
Affinity,
right?
Yeah,
we complete each other, and it's like this is like a really bad romantic movie, rom-com movie.
Oh my gosh,
you complete me. Yeah. It's like, but in like the weird
like,
twist
I
of it.
Smash your head in with this picture.
Yeah. So the rules are super easy though, Gwen. I don't understand why you can't understand it. It's like number 1. You can't do anything.
Can't take off your collar.
Can't take your collar. You can't touch the collar. You can't touch the bracelet. You can't look at anything like a weapon to hurt me. Not allowed to do that. Yeah. You're going to get hurt even worse back.
And anytime you try to hurt me, like punch me in the face, you get punched in the face twice as hard.
And
that's
why
her face looks all
way worse.
Fucked up. Because every time she tries to punch Rena in the face, she gets punched in the face twice as hard.
Yeah.
That's why. That's why her eyes all fucked up. Because every time.
Yeah. But the crazy thing too is like just showing how severe the collar is for the Damani.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about the way that they portrayed it?
Perfect. Yeah. It is literally like to a T how it is in the books also.
Yeah.
Because it's actually like you can't even look at an object and think of it as a weapon. And this is what we talked about, is that as a Damani, you have to convince your own brain that you're not going to hurt your Suldam and that you're cool with the situation.
Yeah.
So you break. You break because you don't even have your own thoughts to mentally fight back against the captor.
Yeah.
because you can't.
No, magically.
Magically, you cannot. Like, and that's the thing.
know.
So you have to, like, physically convince yourself. Like, it's crazy how bad this damages you.
Yeah, and now I do have to say, initially, when we see Egwene almost, like, vibrating.
Right. Yeah.
Like, reverberating.
Yes. Yeah. It's like shockwaves back on you.
Initially, I was like, oh, back to the cheesy special effects. And I wasn't 100% sold. But by the end, I think I was used to it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay.
You know what really I did love?
I stopped, like, it stopped standing out
It's
to
like
me.
the hand twisting when she went to grab the thing that, like, cranks back on herself. That was perfect for me.
Yeah.
Because it's, like, literally, like muscle spasms and you cannot.
Yeah. And 2 separate times in this episode, somebody threw up.
Yeah?
In a not realistic way.
Oh, you didn't like the throwing up?
No.
You know what? Realistic throwing up is really gross, though.
It really is disgusting.
It's like the worst thing.
It is so bad. It's like, yeah, it was like twice. It was Egwene from the trying to touch the collar.
Sure.
Which is accurate, and I like that it happened.
Yeah.
Like, but it was just, it felt not real.
Yeah.
And then also Rand
throw.
after he almost burned himself out.
I guess so. Like, that was according to Logan. Like, I'm not going to believe it. Yeah.
It was crazy, and then just all of a sudden he's like on the ground and there's throw up on the ground.
Well, here's the thing with throw up. If you're gonna throw up, you don't just throw up once.
And then you just like look up and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. No, it's like if you throw up, my body's like, oh, we're throwing up. Okay, we're going to throw up everything until there's nothing left. And like, we're going to try even after that to get it out.
Yeah.
And there's nothing left.
Yeah. So those are my things. I mean,
if you add it, if you want to add 10 minutes of like throw up scenes.
And there's like a teeny little like pile of oatmeal on the ground. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, you want to see all of it? Okay. I get it. Like, you're the one complaining. You're like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I actually want to, but it's just like, if we're talking about the realism.
Oh,
that
man.
was not it for me.
Sure. And at the end of the episode, again, like perfection for me, I was thinking we're either going to get Egwene like still fighting back, or we're going to see that first initial she breaks, and then she does break, and she knows she's broken a little bit
I know.
because she touches the water and doesn't think of it as a weapon. You're like, even the strongest girl we know.
Yeah.
That's how they get you. It's the Seanchan, man. Like, you can't, it's not your fault.
Yeah, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. Now, we do have, like I said, different groups aware of Egwene's situation. And now, the fact that Rand right away believes Ishamael... Oh, no, it's Lanfear, right? Lanfear brings him to the dream, which was crazy.
Yeah.
And then poor Egwene thinks she's going nuts seeing Rand because she thinks he's dead.
Right.
There's a lot of, revelations this episode, because there was the reunion with Matt.
Yeah.
When you were like, oh, right.
Matt wasn't there to know that Rand knows Min and Min knows Rand. Like, Matt wasn't there.
He doesn't know any of that, right? And then also how does Loyal know Egwene is captured? Oh, right. He was standing there when she was brought before Turak.
Exactly.
Right? And then there's the whole thing of Rand showing up in Egwene's cell in her dream.
Yeah.
And it's not just, oh, Rand, how are you here? It's, I think you're dead.
Right.
What's happening?
Why are you here? You should be dead.
Yes.
Exactly.
And then there's that whole reminder of what's going on with every character. So I like that play.
2 more episodes.
Whoa.
I wish there was more than that.
A million.
Yeah.
I know.
But I mean, we got a place to be. We gotta do something about this situation in full. Right. Okay.
Yeah, we're gearing up, hey?
Oh, yeah. Last 2 episodes are going to be like action.
The other thing I wanted to ask you is, so Moraine thinks she's stilled.
Right.
For sure. She doesn't say, I've been cut off, or she doesn't say, I've been shielded.
Right.
She says stilled.
She does in her letter that doesn't seem to get
set.
I
want it on record. What's your opinion of what's going to happen with this storyline?
Okay. I don't think she's stilled, but I want her to be.
Oh, you do?
I do, because I think that works really well.
Interesting. Yeah, I know you do. You really did make that work in your head.
The only I thought she was stilled from season 1 until people were like, oh, it looks
Probably
like shielded because of the way that the weave was in Ishamael's hands. So I think I thought she was stilled, and you know what? I'm changing it. I think she's stilled. No, but I don't think she's stilled because I think that Moraine's wrong.
Do you think that she thinks she's stilled?
Yes, I think that she's wrong. I think that Moraine thinks she's right about a lot of things when in fact she's wrong about a lot of things.
Yeah, that tracks. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I think we're getting a Moraine Swan reunion.
Yeah, it's not going to be happy. Not going to be lovey-lovey, kissy-kissy.
No, and
not in front of people.
Once again, someone please explain to me this timeline.
Dragons. There you go.
No, I want a real explanation because like this is stupid. Okay.
They were heading there anyways.
Nope, they weren't. Nope.
Kyrie's on the way to Tarvalon, sort of.
And like maybe, perhaps, I haven't looked at Amazon's
the map from the yeah, exactly.
For a while, so maybe we're gonna have to look into some of that extra bonus stuff.
Sure.
I might need some help here.
Okay.
All right. Well, looking forward to next week.
Yep. 2 more. 2 to go.
Yeah, I don't have anything planned for food, so I gotta start thinking.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, as we say around here, it's part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. The Wheel Weaves is hosted and edited by Dani and Brett, produced by Dani and Brett, with Passion Socks, Cody Feltz, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jamie Young, Megan Smiley, Jared Berg, Ricky Morissette, Lance Barden, Charlie Haz, Adam, Marta Thier, Michelle Forbes, MKM, Antoine Benoit, Lawrence Bradley, and Eric Reed. With music by Audionautics. Please be sure to check out our Patreon page if you are interested in supporting us and the podcast. We would love to send you some Patreon exclusive merchandise as a thank you. Plus, you'll gain access to our episodes earlier than everyone else. And at the time of recording, we have over 40 bonus episodes for your listening pleasure. You can find all that and more at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show and information like how to send us shot glasses or how to join our Discord or how to get in touch with us, you can visit thewheelweavespodcast.com. And as always, please be sure to give us that 5-star review because it really does make a huge difference in helping other people find us. Right now, we are offering to send exclusive merchandise to select people who give us 5-star reviews if you leave your username for Instagram or Twitter, and I'll reach out to you that way. Also, please be sure to tell a friend, Riyadh, because referrals really are the best compliment. Thanks again for listening. This really is part of the pattern now.